Let me start with full disclosure. After close to 30 years in this business, and in law and finance before that, there is no doubt in my mind that culturally, politically, and systemically, workers have been left behind in America on purpose. We now make billionaires and broke people more than anything else. President Trump is now singing this song, but can he hold the tune? Hard to tell, because right now he has us in crazy town again. I don't care what team you're silly enough to support. That's where we all are. Crazy town. What is that? No clear path, no messaging, just madness and making it up as you go. That's crazy town. How else to describe our reality? We're now told the tariffs are part of an intricate strategy with many phases. The president just never bothered to explain it until after he did it, and the markets tanked. Well, we couldn't warn our enemies, his people tell me. But isn't that your posture if you're in an actual war, not a trade war? Almost all the players here are our allies, and you're supposed to pre-negotiate and explain the parameters and the targets and the specificity of tariffs, and most importantly, the duration. They did none of that here, and what they did do, they exaggerated. The math makes no sense. And even more dangerous is that they have not given an indication for how long, and that's why the markets tanked. Okay? Messaging matters. We saw how much again today. This verified X account, whatever that means, named Walter Bloomberg, posts a headline that Trump's top economic advisor, Hassett, said that the president is considering a 90-day pause on tariffs. Traders erupt in cheers. CNBC goes with the story.
I think we can go with this headline. Apparently, Hassett's been saying that Trump will consider a 90-day pause in tariffs for all countries except for China.
Except for China.
Oh, well, that's huge. I mean, that changes the game.
Yeah, it changes things. You know why? Because that's not what he said.
Will you do a 90-day pause? Would you consider that?
Or Bill, yeah, you know, I think that the president is going to decide what the president's going to decide.
So how'd this happen? Well, first of all, Trump administration. You can't just go out on Fox. Most serious people don't watch it. You have to put your people out on all the different platforms when you want a message, especially if it's not going to be top down from the president. So as soon as the market went up on this news, it came crashing back down. This misinformation, and that's what it was, created a $4 trillion swing in the market. This is madness. Okay? This is not a way to get to a better place. Now, I get why the Trump folk are shy about the messaging here, okay? Right now, his guys sound like the Bernie bros. It's all about the working man all of a sudden and correcting how top-heavy all these corporations are. And if the markets go down while Trump gets other countries to take care of our working men and women, screw them. They've been at the trough long enough. Hey, amen. I smell what you're cooking. CEOs are now making 345 times the worker. In 1965, they made 20 times more. Why has that exponentially exploded where wages have not? So I'm fine with the message. I think it's grossly unfair that corporations get to distribute profits while their workers are subsidized by taxpayers. Billionaires shouldn't be growing more than everything else. But what's the problem? Well, until now, that message isn't new. It just wasn't coming from Trump. He dismissed it as socialist redistribution.
CEOs making nearly 400 times more than the average worker. Unheard of in American history.
He's going to tax you people at 90%. He's going to take everything. And nobody's heard the term communist. But you know what? I call him a socialist/communist, okay? Because that's what he is.
Okay? Here's what I know. I don't know where we're going to go. I'm going to talk to somebody who's much smarter than I am about that. But here's how we got here. The tariff gambit was always going to be, okay? How they did this was a closely held move. And now we know why. because he knows he was going to meet resistance. He didn't even know that graph till he read it at that press conference. What likely happened here is Trump was pushing tariffs because he believes in the optics, no matter the economics. They make him look strong. He is fighting back. He is doing to them as they do to us. And that's why he did this. And as with everything else he does, if he's going to do it, he wants it to be the biggest, the most, the best. And that's why it's this crazy list and exaggerated notions of the tariffs. He didn't really consult the better business minds around him, which is why Musk may not be the only close advisor to leave because of this. Be aware. He also didn't warn the other countries. He also didn't warn us. So the markets cratered. Now his guys are trying, after the fact, to architect a plan. And they're leaning into helping the base, even if it sounds like they're bogarting the idea from Bernie. But justifying the idea is the least of their problems. So let's say they're right, and they did this because they want to bring back manufacturing. What manufacturing? They act as if America has none. You do know we are the second biggest producer of things behind China, right? You know that, right? So where is all this excess potential capacity going to come from? Why did Trump kill the CHIPS Act if he wanted to seed new information and technology jobs? Ah, yes, cheap politics. Right? Negating the past administration. So what is it, just about cars then? So we're going to reopen closed plants? How long does that take? 4 years? Who's going to pay? And who's going to work there? There are nearly 500,000 open manufacturing jobs in America right now. Why? Because we don't have zero capacity. We're at almost full capacity. We have open jobs. And where are you going to get them? With Trump chasing all the migrants out. You see? You can see how after the fact this analysis was. Doesn't make any sense based on their own prior actions. Wouldn't companies need to raise their workers' salaries to entice more to join up? What would that mean for prices? What, are we not price sensitive here anymore? Like Bill O'Reilly says, suck it up, get some discipline, pay more, buy less. That's what you want to do. And production these days is more about robotics than ever. So wouldn't there have to be a period of retraining? Are we set up for that? Why do you think we saw Apple say today they may leave China because of this, but they're not coming back here? They're thinking of going to India. This is about the bottom line for business. Trump has no good answers on any of these issues that need to be solved if he wants the tariff plan to be successful. But that's not what it is. He's hoping to never have to answer any of these questions because this is really a stunt to force other countries to the table, and hopefully soon, because he does not want to own a decline in the markets that creates a delevering event, which my buddy coming up will explain to you, which he cannot stop. This is the only huge market move we've seen downward in our lifetime that was man-made, meaning by one man, okay? Now, can he undo it? Yeah, but not for long. The EU hinted that they're open to coming to the table, but they're also getting ready to retaliate with 25% tariffs. So is China. Now he's threatening another 50% on China. Look, I get playing chicken, okay? I just don't like being in the middle of the two birds, which is where you and I are. So when all this pushback to the idea that this was for the working man came, all these questions I was just asking, a second theory popped up. The tariffs are really, you know what they're about, is cheapening the lending environment, because that's what they'll do, and they'll make it easier for us to refinance our debt and pay down the deficit. Pretty good, right? Pretty good, right? Well, if the goal is to reduce the debt, why does Trump's budget add to the spending problems? Why isn't he insisting on a balanced budget amendment? Why did he cut the taxes for the rich and not pay for them if he's about cutting the debt? Oh, that's right, the tax cuts. Yeah, this is about that too. Now here's a third explanation. Remember I said last week this was coming? Okay, the reporting has borne fruit. This is actually, what is the tariffs about? Manufacturing, making it cheaper to refine. Doing to them what they, but it's really about raising revenue to extend the tax cuts. Who says that? Trump's main advisor.
Tariffs are tariffs, and they do raise revenues. They will. I see them as a tax cut, Andrew, because they're going to help pay for the biggest tax cut in American history.
Tax cut for whom, Brother Navarro? The problem is that the tariffs will be passed along. You got the tax word right, but it's not a cut. It's a regressive tax in the form of prices that will be paid by us, and disproportionately by the working man that they are supposedly designed to help. The tariffs are expected to cost the average American household $4 grand a year. Why? The bottom 90% spends nearly all their yearly income. The top 1% spends about 60%. That means that the working class gets hurt more than the rich, and Navarro knows it. And that is going to pay for the tax cuts? Oh, and then, so if the working class is going to pay for the tax cuts, okay. But then they get the tax benefit, right? For the extent, oh no, because the tax cuts help who? The studies have shown that the top 5% receive nearly half of the benefit from Trump's tax cuts. The bottom 80% gets less than a third. So you're paying disproportionately for the tariff, and you're getting a disproportionately low return on the taxes. Seriously? Something stinks here, doesn't it? And we see it in the reaction. Fox can put up all the Fugazi polls they want, that what he's doing is popular, maybe with their viewers. But the polls all together don't sample as many people as we saw in the streets in this country this weekend. Reports say nearly 100,000 turned out in D.C., 30,000 in Chicago, 25,000 in Boston, 20,000 in Atlanta, 10,000 in Denver. Nearly 20 blocks of Fifth Avenue in New York City filled with thousands of protesters. Small cities, too. 7,000 in Des Moines, 5,000 in Raleigh, 1,000 in Anchorage, Alaska. I guess they didn't get the message that this is all for them. Actually, we know they didn't get the message because Trump never delivered it. Now the real question is, will anyone believe it? We will see. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.